This is Cruise Control.
Your on-air automotive magazine with co-hosts Fred Staab and Les Jackson. Everything you need to know about new and used cars. Industry news will fix or repair your car on the air. Fasten your seatbelts and let us take the wheel. Now, your ride is about to begin. Because you're on Cruise Control. Cruise Control. Cruise Control.
And welcome to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Hello, everyone. It's Fred Staab and Les Jackson. And we've got a great hour of automotive information, news, reviews, and more. Unintentional or maybe intentional reveals, Les Jackson?
Yes, somehow I think they're intentional.
Yeah. What we're talking about is the Corvette E-Ray. It's going to slot in. It's basically the new Grand Sport, but it is a hybrid Corvette. Right. Has the Stingray drivetrain, but it also has an electric motor or electric motors up front. And it was inadvertently revealed. The configurator went up live. We feel it might be a little bit of a preview.
No.
You think it's a preview too, right?
This was quite deliberate. You know, what better way to get everyone salivating than to, bring the roast turkey out and then take it back to the kitchen. I'm fascinated with the E-Ray for two reasons. One is it's way overdue.
Oh, yeah.
To be an electric or electrified Corvette. The second is, how the heck did they fit those electric motors in there?
Well, that's one thing the pictures didn't show. It did not show. They say they're going to take the storage space up front in the frunk, but it did not show that. But it just showed some of the colors. Yeah, one of them is a color called cacti, which is found on the Chevy Spark, believe it or not. And it's gonna be on this E-Ray Corvette, but we'll tell you about that. Also, paying a monthly fee for horsepower. Mercedes says, "Yep, that's what they want." The manufacturers are pushing this subscription idea, and people don't like it. But Mercedes is the next one to float that boat.
It just seems to me to be just not, well, I consider it unacceptable, but
all right. Well,
that's me. And Fred, what's the most American car when it comes to parts and assembly?
You might say, well, is that the Silverado or the F-150? But it's not, and It is made by Lincoln. We'll give you that hint and tell you more about it as we go into the show. And it's interesting to find that out. Unless, there's a Formula One race coming up in Las Vegas, and one casino hotel has a package for over $1 million that includes some lodging, and I think they throw in a trip to the buffet.
I wonder if that includes the Formula One car.
I don't think so. But we will.
What are you getting for $1 million?
Well, we'll tell you. You have to stay tuned to Cruise Control to find out. And then I'll have an at-the-wheel review of the Subaru WRX. One of my favorite features about this car is that
great hot hatchback.
Hot hatchback, yeah. And, I hate things that are not functional on the car, but it has a functional hood scoop, and I love things that are functional.
Yep.
And it actually scoops air right into that intercooler there. And that is good stuff. Good stuff. I like the fact that it's a little bit more subdued, but we'll tell you about that and show you some video of it and talk about it a little bit. 271 horsepower. It is the fifth generation of the car. Fifth
That's
generation.
Right, yeah. And boy, those earlier generations have become so collectible.
Yes. No STI, though. Look, it actually has a very small spoiler, which I like. It doesn't even fit the width of the car.
Yep.
None of the STI giant kids push toy handle. That's what it always reminded me of. I always thought it was a little bit too much, the STI stuff. But hey, maybe you like that. Maybe you like a really high one.
I do not like that. We
will tell you about it, though, and have a full at-the-wheel review of the 2022 Subaru WRX. And matter of fact, they just released the pricing for the 2023. Not much different, but it's going up in price. So if you're thinking about a WRX and you can find one at sticker price, it might not be a bad idea to get it 2022
yeah, actually,
model.
You're right.
Not going to be that much different, but it's going to be significantly more money. So there you go. Hey, all that and more when we get rolling on this edition of Cruise Control. Let's just jump right into our first story, Les. The E-Ray is something you and I have been hearing about for a long time. It is the hybrid Corvette. And the mid-engine Corvette forum, John Elegant, we know him well, and Corvette blogger both grabbed a few screenshots from the Chevrolet website. They put it up. The configurator for the E-Ray went up, they say, inadvertently. But isn't it interesting that both those Corvette sites were able to grab
Isn't that interesting?
screenshots, and then it went away.
What an incredible coincidence.
Yeah. So what did we learn? Well, it's not a plug-in hybrid. It is not a plug-in hybrid. It is a hybrid. So it can only travel very short distances on electric. And they had some of the, it has the same kind of look as the Stingray as far as the exhaust goes. There are some new colors, Cacti Seawolf and Riptide Blue, very green.
Okay.
When I say not green, but green, as in Save the Earth green. Yeah, type colors. There is a regenerative braking system. There's an automatic stop-start feature with buttons on the console. Of course, this is an all-wheel drive vehicle. It has the C8 6.2-liter V8, and then it has the, we believe, electric motors up front. We don't know if that takes away a lot of the space in the frunk. I would imagine it would.
I would think it has to, unless the motors are in the wheels.
Don't know. We don't know that at this point. And then there also on the configurator was the ZER performance package. We don't know what that means. We also know, though, that all models will be equipped with carbon ceramic brakes.
Okay.
So it can run on electric power all alone, but I'm thinking it's for short distances. I don't think.
Well, there's got to be a sizable battery in it, which I think that takes care of the frunk.
Yeah, I think the front trunk is very limited. I think it will be very shallow. It will still be there,
and heavy.
And heavy. It will be interesting to see how this drives. So this is basically going to be kind of the Grand Sport, the new Grand Sport. Typically in the Corvette lineup, the Grand Sport had a lot of the looks of the Z06. It had the aluminum in the previous version, the C7, C6. It had the aluminum superstructure of the Z06, but it had the standard Stingray engine. So a little bit different this time around. It does get a lot of the Z06 goodies. It does not get the Z06 engine, but it does get a unique drivetrain, which should result in significantly more power than the Stingray. By the way, the Stingray has 495 horsepower. It's plenty of power. It's plenty of power. But what do you think? I mean, I think it will be cool. From the looks of it, it's interesting that it is kind of a mono color. Like there's no black trim or carbon fiber trim. Maybe that will be optional. But they certainly went out of their way to make it look a little bit different than
I think.
Stingray.
First, I like that they're doing it. Second, they have to do it because we know that they're aiming for Corvette to be its own brand
Yeah. That,
instead of a Chevrolet, and they're going to have an SUV. Get over it.
yeah. It's happening.
And it's I think it's going to end up being America's Ferrari.
Interesting. Interesting. Um, I think, though, once again, this was a planned reveal, a planned look, a plan. Let's drive the excitement. We're not going to be talking about this until maybe early next year or mid next year.
Yep.
Let's keep the interest going.
Unless there's a surprise unveiling at the LA show.
Let's face it, LA show mobility. I don't know. It might be.
It has happened before.
Yeah, I just don't think at that level in GM that it could be, whoops, oh, I put the wrong version of the website up with the new models.
It's just no way.
Oh, boy, because somebody would be looking for a new job, don't you think?
Yeah.
I think they told them, flash it up, the websites will grab it, and then take it down.
Yeah, this was a marketing ploy, and it worked.
Yeah. Remember, I think when the C6 was revealed, they had it on a car carrier, and apparently a gust of wind came and blew the car cover off that wasn't secured. And people were like, oh, my, we can't show that.
Yeah, it's
all fun. It's all fun.
But that's fine. I like that kind of teaser.
Yeah, that's a real teaser. That's not like one of the silhouettes you get on some of these manufacturers where it looks like a stick drawing and you're like, what is that? So we will keep you informed on the E-Ray for sure. When we come back, though, we're going to talk about something that's going across the industry, and that is subscriptions. And Mercedes wants to charge you more money to get the full horsepower from a vehicle. So when we come back, we'll talk about that. Stay tuned to Cruise Control. I'm Fred Staab. He is Les Jackson. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Cruise Control.
Welcome back to Cruise Control. This is your on-air automotive magazine. And speaking of automotive and magazines, which have to have subscriptions, how do you like that segue?
That's great.
And Mercedes, I have a problem with this, Fred, but we'll go through it.
Yeah, it's bigger than Mercedes. It's BMW.
It's everybody.
Yeah, everyone's.
It's the industry. It's all this added value to the manufacturer. Mercedes currently in Korea is charging owners $1,200 a year for an acceleration increase. So you get more power to use in your car. And how often are you using it?
Yep.
But forget about that. $1,200, $100 a month to use it, and it's on the EQ EVs. All right, fine. But up front, are you paying more for it because it has that capability in it, or are you just paying the basic EQ EV price? And then you subscribe to the power, and then, all right, but you own this thing for 5, 6, 8 years.
Yeah, it could go up to about $10,000 total, right? Extra money.
Well, yeah, and I don't believe that it would have cost you that much, or maybe it would for a Mercedes, for the extra power in the beginning.
Yeah.
We've talked about this with various things, various other manufacturers. I just really object to this.
Yeah, it is.
I just think it's it's kind of nickel and diming you.
Well, like we talked about this, you know, not only are they looking at doing this, BMW wants to do this with heated seats. They wanted to do it.
Yep.
It all started with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. BMW wanted to charge you a subscription for that, where most manufacturers in the second model up in the lineup would get that, and you just have it forever. I don't understand why you would want to pay for that as a subscription. And it's even led to tuners unlocking these features, going in and unlocking these features, you know. And you're right. What the EQE gets for $100 a month, you get a bump from 288 horsepower to 349 horsepower.
Okay.
And you know, I just think they want a steady income stream after the sale.
They do. They do. They don't want a single one-time profit on each car they make. They want a continued payment.
Income stream.
Yeah. I. Why would you buy this?
Well,
you know, you let's say you're out right now. You want to buy an electric Mercedes, and well, gee, that's okay. $100 a month. I get the use of 60 more horsepower.
yeah.
Now, how many times in a day, and you and I test vehicles, we've been doing it for 30 years.
Right.
How many times a day do you stand on the accelerator and go to 60?
Yeah, I know it's, you know, and they also want to data mine. So in other words, track where your vehicle is. Oh,
Yeah.
you drive by the coffee shop every day. Well, okay, I'm going to sell that data to the folks at you know, Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks, and this will be a revenue stream for them. And they might put ads in your vehicle, and maybe there'll be a startup ad. You start it up in your driveway before you put it into reverse, an ad will come up. And what's interesting is, here's what I think they'll do. If you've ever bought a tablet on Amazon, you can buy them with ads or without ads. If you buy them
Right.
with ads, it's a little bit cheaper. Not a lot, but the ads, when you boot up your tablet, it will come up as it's booting up. Instead of just I'm booting up, you know, with a circle, an ad will play. So it will cost less. But I think manufacturers will have that built into their cars, and I don't think they'll give you that option to get rid of it. I think it will.
I don't think they will.
And if we get to full self-driving vehicles, watch out. They could play ads all the time in the car. It will be like gas pump TV, which I hate, by the way.
Yep.
When I go in and I can't mute it, I hit every button. I try everything I know to mute it. I don't want to hear that. I just want to fill my tank. I don't want to hear about celebrities.
I hate hearing that pump playing commercials. It's always too loud.
It's too loud because you're hearing like 4 pumps while you're standing there.
Yeah.
It would be like playing 4 radios at one time.
However, Fred, I created a solution to that. Because I fill up at the same pump, which is down in Woodbridge, Virginia, just 10 miles away, because it's always about 30 cents a gallon cheaper.
Okay.
And I'm going down to our friend Glenn's house when I'm filling up, and I carry a roll of painter's tape, and I just walk out with it, and I just stick the tape over the speaker, and you know, once the guy operating came out, what are you doing? I said, I don't want to hear that. It's loud. I'll pull the tape off when I'm finished pumping.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think we will be assaulted with more than that. I mean, in New York City, they had the taxi cab back seat thing, and you could mute it. And I was very fast. I could mute it within 2 seconds because I don't want to hear that. I didn't ask to hear that. and
Well, it's like YouTube. When you're going to watch something on YouTube, you're inundated with these ads, some of which you can skip.
right,
Otherwise, you have to put up with it. Now, granted, we're not paying for it, but
right. But
of
I am
us
paying
pay.
for the gas,
Yeah,
and you would be paying for your car. So should
yeah.
you
I
be?
just
I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it, but they
I
see
don't
it as
like it.
another revenue stream. It's a different thing. It's a different thing if when the car came out, it only had 288 horsepower,
Hmm.
and then they came up with a new firmware that gave it new features. Maybe that's worth a one-time fee to upgrade, But I don't
Now,
I don't like
uh,
subscriptions.
granted, they're doing this in South Korea and some other countries, but that doesn't mean our culture will accept it.
No, I agree. I agree.
We'll
Hey,
see.
well, let's talk about a vehicle of our culture, and it is the Lincoln Corsair. And what's unique about the Lincoln Corsair? Nice vehicle, of course, but it is apparently, according to the Kogod School of Business, the most American car you can buy in 2022.
That's impressive. 72% of the parts are made in the US or Canada. That's a big deal.
That is a really big deal. And it's a great car. It's a great vehicle. I like Lincolns. They truly are, the quiet luxury. Um, and what will be interesting to see if this changes as, especially with electric vehicles, because there's it's important to manufacturers to build
That's
them
right.
in the U.S. so people can get the rebate, the tax rebate. And will we see more cars and parts and pieces manufactured in the U.S.? But there you have it. If you really want to buy a vehicle that has 72% of its parts made in either U.S. and Canada,
That's right. Now, just so people get a feel for this, the second place is Tesla Model 3 long range.
yep,
65% of its parts are made here, but of course they don't fit. And and the um, and I wish I was kidding, but
yeah,
I'm not.
now
The Corvette is third place, 61%.
61%, which is still a lot nowadays.
It is.
Yeah, Model S and Model X Teslas feature 55% North American made
Same
parts.
as the Ford Ranger and Bronco.
Yep. So interesting study there. This was kind of interesting to me. It comes out that thousands of Tesla owners are taking their cars to GM dealers to get fixed. General Motors announced this about a week or so ago at their Investors Day that they basically it's like a little cottage industry for GM dealers. They're taking Teslas to GM dealers to get them repaired because they can do same day servicing for
Yep.
cars. Isn't that interesting?
Um, it's interesting. I wasn't aware of it. I'm not surprised because, conventional dealerships that have been doing this for decades and decades and decades know what they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
and their technicians who work on their electric vehicles are certainly every bit qualified to do some repairs on the Teslas. And usually these repairs aren't the electric drivetrain. They're
It's the
they're
zip ties holding the.
they're
They
they're
need to be
loose
refreshed.
suspensions and they're loose doors and windows that don't work.
Wow.
Um, and any dealership can fix that, um, Heck, you and I could fix it.
Well, GM President Mark Royce told Barron's, I got to say, it's a new business. It's interesting. Maybe they should just buy Tesla. What do you think?
You know?
And we're like, we guarantee you the AC will work and so will the doors,
Yeah, and for a little more, we'll actually put a decent coat of paint on it.
Yeah, right. We'll actually make some paint that won't come off, we'll glue the roof on correctly so it doesn't fly off when you drive on it.
And the headliner will actually stay up in the top of the roof.
Yeah, it's exciting concepts. So interesting cottage business for the folks. So, if I was a dealer, GM dealer, I would say, what do we got to do to get into this?
Absolutely. Service is a big amount of the dealership's income.
Yeah. Now, can they get things like parts that fall off that they have to, order?
I guess they can order them.
I guess you can order them, yeah. But there you have it. Hey, you're listening to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. I'm Fred Staab. He is Les Jackson. Les, are you excited about this F1 race in Las Vegas coming up?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
I was until I found out that I couldn't afford to watch it.
Well, not you can watch it on TV.
I can watch it on TV, of course.
Yeah. Well, the Wynn Hotel and Resort wants to cash in on this F1 craze, and they're offering the ultimate all-access experience for a group of 6, and it costs $1 million. So if you cut it 6 ways, it's $166,666 per person. And you will be given, when you arrive at the hotel, a 3-liter Magnum of Dom Perignon, a selection of caviar. You'll make your way to a 5,829 square foot, 3-bedroom luxury duplex. That's bigger than most houses.
It is, but that's for 6 people.
Yeah. Includes dinner for 6 at a fancy on-site restaurant, spa and salon treatments, and a few rounds of golf.
And a laser tag tournament. Hey, I'm not making that up.
But what it does not include much on the Formula One race. Isn't that interesting?
That's right.
Which is going to kind of go around the hotels. There's a course. Well, they will have access to a private red carpet opening ceremony, not open to the public. But it doesn't include meeting drivers. It doesn't include. I guess you will have a way to view it some way from the building. And by the way, if you want to see the race, if you want to see the Formula One race, it's $2,500 per person for the cheapest standing tickets.
Wow.
To stand for what, 4 hours?
Man.
That makes my back hurt just thinking about it. And the $500 standing tickets, which were the cheap tickets, are sold out already.
Well,
I'll watch it on TV. How about you?
Well, absolutely. First, you can see it all on TV.
Yeah, with multiple cameras.
I've been to a bunch of Formula One races. And
here comes the pack of cars.
You don't see much.
Yeah.
And stayed in tents overnight.
Wow.
With the common folk. But the fact is, this just seems. Obviously there are people who'll pay for it.
People will pay for the experience. They may not even be car fans. They just want to be where the action is, man. So, but that's your package there. You can get that for a group of 6. I'm used to sitting in the bleachers and having a hot dog at a race. Now that's just not my thing. there, but there you have it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Which, I guess good for these people if they want to spend their money that way.
yeah, yeah. Well, let's talk about spending money in a different way, or not spending money at all. Have you ever
Better
wanted to be
yet,
a car designer, Les?
I have always wanted to be able to draw well,
Yeah. Well,
or in my case, at all.
there is a free course, free online car designer course. I'm going to do this. Yellow Brick and Peterson Automotive Museum launch a free online automotive design course, Auto Design and Sketching, which highlights a path to a career in automotive design. And it is a self-paced online course which features 3 modules: Design Principles and History, Famous Case Studies, and Let's Draw, which focuses on sketching exercises.
I'm going to try this.
Oh, look who's here. Franz von Holzhausen is involved.
Oh,
We know him.
I know him very well.
Tesla designer. Ralph Gilles, know him very well.
Very
Chief
well.
Design Officer. Christine Fuel, I don't know her. Francais Arenas, I don't know that person. And Roman, I can't say their last name, but
Roman Nejes.
okay. Faculty Art Center College of Design.
No,
So,
these are heavy hitters.
yeah. We know, especially know Ralph Gilles very well.
Oh, yeah.
Spent some time with him. Great. Love talking design and cars with
And
him.
we've spent some time with Franz von Holzhausen.
We have. So,
Not that we're impressed with the design of the Tesla, but
okay.
but he's designing what he is told to design.
He's still designing, yes.
Yeah.
But the first module is available now, and the second and third modules are slated for release in December and January. Participants only need to provide an email address and be at least 13 years old to participate. Do you qualify, Les Jackson?
In chronological content, yes. In maturity, it's a little marginal.
It's close. So
It's close, but I think I can fake it.
you go to yellowbrick.co/auto design.
I'm going to do this.
I think it will be fun.
Honestly, I have always wanted to be able to draw well.
I'll go back to one of our guests a long time ago on the Cruise Control Show, and he said it best. It was Peter Max, the artist, and he
Yes,
said,
yeah.
everyone should try art. You never know. You may be good at it. I love that. I love that. It was some of the advice.
Yeah,
I said
well,
it's pens and
he's
paper.
right. He's right.
Have at it. It's nothing high tech. You can just have fun with it, But this is a free course, and why wouldn't you want to learn something new? Shove some more
I just
stuff
think
into
this
the old
would be
gray matter.
great fun.
Yeah. So yellowbrick.co/auto design, and it's put together by Yellow Brick and the Peterson Automotive Museum. And who knows? Maybe they'll launch some future auto designer.
That's that could very well happen. Some young, high school kid just discovers they have this incredible talent.
Yeah. Definitely. It's fun, and you can have a lot of fun with a tablet, and not a tablet electronic, a pad and some pens and a pencil. I used to like to draw with pencil so I could change it all the time,
Yeah, but can you draw well?
The side view. I can't get that perspective view. I can draw it flat, but not where it's like angled, But I'd like to learn. I would like to learn.
I'd like to pick up some design there. I can usually copy someone else's design pretty well.
You would work out well in China. They do that all the time. It's like, yes, right. This is not the F-150, right. It's the F-15.
This is the Jackson 5000.
All right. Well, you're listening to Cruise Control. We're glad you're along for the ride with us. It's a lot of fun, and I'm glad everyone's enjoying this because we got some other information. Honda is looking to begin U.S. production of fuel cell electric vehicles in 2024.
Yeah. Now, of course, they've been making the Clarity for better part of 20 years
in Japan, I guess, right?
in Japan. I've driven that a couple times, and it's really it's a car.
Well, you know they've finalized the last NSX. They're not going to be building any more of the gas-powered versions of this, unfortunately. But boy, I love that rig for raising the car up for working on it.
I really like the looks of that.
Yeah, it's a cool car, but they're not building that anymore. But the production of the fuel cells will occur at that place where they were building the NSX, the Performance Manufacturing Center, known for building small volume specialty vehicles like the Acura NSX. The first North American market fuel cell EV to adopt a plug-in feature for EV driving. And they plan on starting to build these things in 2024. So interesting stuff. I'm a fan of fuel cells too.
Me too. I love the physics. I love the technology. Zero pollution.
Yeah, and you could be great for backup generators and. You know, one of the things, too, they talk about the grid and that. What about you could build a fuel cell small electrical plant inside something that looked like a house, and people really wouldn't know.
In fact, GM has invested a lot of money in these in localized fuel cell power plants, and they've got some good designs. A number of companies are looking seriously at that.
I have a weird idea. All the offices that aren't used anymore because people work at home.
Yeah.
What malls that people don't go to anymore? You could put these things in there and they wouldn't even know they're there, would they?
No, you wouldn't. And you've got all you need is hydrogen, the most abundant element in the universe. Biggest problem, though, is that you usually find it in the sun.
Uh-huh.
It's hard to pump it from there.
Yes, it is.
But the fact is,
so you need a
hydrogen
long pipeline.
is everywhere, and when you come up with a relatively cost-effective way of getting it, then what a terrific power production system.
Yeah, I agree. Interesting stuff. All right. Well, we're going to take a little bit of a break on Cruise Control. When we come back, I'm going to have an at-the-wheel review of the 2022 Subaru WRX. So stay tuned to Cruise Control, and we will be right back.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. I'm Fred Staab, and that vehicle you were seeing right there is the 2022 WRX from Subaru. Got a complete redesign. It is the 5th generation model. And, I've been a fan of the WRX for a long time. Sometimes Subarus, they're great vehicles. They don't have the power that they need because it's just sort of, their viewpoint that they don't need a lot of power. And they've always been just slightly different, but slightly different in a good way. But this one has a generous helping of power. And it comes in the form of a 2.4-liter turbocharged boxer engine. Which puts down 271 horsepower. It is specific to the 2022 WRX. You can't get it on this other anything else. Can't get it in the Crosstrek, unfortunately. But it is plenty of power. Really well matched to the vehicle. Of course, it's all-wheel drive. It has on the inside the new tablet-style 11.6-inch center display tablet with navigation. The navigation is powered by TomTom. I think this is a real plus. Sometimes Subaru has kind of been a little bit behind the curve with their Starlink systems, but I think they have really brought it up to spec. And, of course, it is a vertical system and a great display. And they also have a volume knob and a tuning knob, control things like the heated seats, things like that. It's kind of a mix. They have dedicated buttons for the temperature and defroster, which is great. But then the rest are the virtual buttons, I guess. A great-looking engine. It's got the intercooler on the top. It flows air. You can tell a WRX. It's got that big hood scoop on the top that actually pumps air right into that intercooler. That is a nice setup. That is a hot rod setup and a real deal. 271 horsepower, 2.4-liter boxer engine, and that's plenty. Now, I think the overall look on the outside is pretty sedate. You get a little bit of a cladding on the wheel wells. It's kind of a flat look on the top of those wheel wells. There's a shot of the hood scoop there, which is pretty significant and functional. And if you look along the side, it really doesn't look like a performance car. Even out back, there's just a tiny little spoiler that doesn't go the full width of the vehicle. No big spoiler. There is no STI right now. There is only a WRX version of this. And I kind of like the fact that it was a little bit more of a sleeper. Maybe some people don't like that, but the only thing that really sets it off is the different cladding and the exhaust in the back, which is 4 pipes in the back, and the hood scoop. This is the GT trim, which added the driver mode select, electronically controlled dampers, and interior and exterior accents. Got a great set of pretty aggressively bolstered Recaro seats on the inside with a lot of Alcantara. So you know, they're a little bit difficult to get into them, but once you get into them, they're perfect for autocrossing and taking that the rally, getting out on the rally course. But I do like that ours was in the red and black and silver accents. It always looks good. And it is, you know, something that stands out, I think, that red and black trim.
Yeah, it's kind of a lipstick red.
Kind of a lipstick red. Yeah, I was trying to get the name for it here, and I'll have that for you in a second. But actually, I don't. They don't have it as a red. That's interesting. But, you know, all-wheel drive, great performance. As I say, it's bred from the world of rally racing and that. What didn't I like about it? I don't know. I mean, I liked how it drove very well. I really enjoyed it. It has those side gills here. I guess some people may like that or not like it. They have a kind of a texture to them, which is kind of interesting. You know, it is a pricey vehicle. It's $42,000.
That's up there.
It's sort of like, you know, I think of this, and I love those quad exhausts, by the way. I think of this as it's based really on an economy car or a basic car, sort of like the days of the Evo, you know, where you were buying an economy car that had been extensively hot rodded. And that's kind of the case here. But then I look at cool things like the Recaro seats, the Alcantara, the pedals. You know, it's a fast car, an enjoyable car to drive. One thing I did find, the interior black plastic seemed like it was easy to mar and scratch, which is not a great thing because our test car didn't have that many miles on it, but it looked like they were getting some marring going on there. Rear seat passengers get some USB ports, and it looks like there's some blankouts for heated seats, but our model did not have rear heated seats. Definitely like this nav system, and that will be spreading out to the full lineup. The next Crosstrek is going to get that for sure, and I think that's a big upgrade for Subaru owners to have that screen, and I'm glad they're kind of making that go across the lineup. Great road manners, fun to drive, decent mileage, not great, but decent. 25 highway, 19 city, 21 is the aggregate number, which is not a great number, but we probably did a little bit better than that on the highway, better than 25. Got all the safety goodies, got the eyesight system, so you can't go wrong there. And as I say, by the way, the destination delivery is a deal, $995.
Wow. It wasn't long ago that was considered a lot.
And it wasn't long ago that was considered a lot. Yeah, absolutely. Has not been crash tested, but should do well. Got LED steering responsive headlights. I like that a lot. The headlights will turn so to wherever you're pointing the car. Also comes with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, tilt telescope wheel, power moonroof, heated front side mirrors, windshield wiper de-icer, because these cars tend to be driven in the snow. That's just one of these things. Subaru map update program, 3 years free. You don't typically see that. That's good, though. Sirius XM traffic and travel link, 3 years free. And Subaru Starlink Safety Plus 3-year free, which is not available, weirdly, in Massachusetts or to businesses. 504-watt Harman Kardon audio system should keep you, in enjoyable tunes for your trip through the universe. And overall, just a great handling car, a little bit more subdued. Will there be an STI right now? No, I don't think so. I don't think there will be an STI version of it. And what else can we tell you about the new car? Well, the front fenders are made of aluminum, and they reduce the overall weight by 5 pounds, which doesn't sound like a lot.
Doesn't seem like a huge
No, it doesn't
gain.
But a fun car to drive. Recaro seats. I found them comfortable enough, but sometimes I find some of the sporty seats don't have enough padding for me in the back.
No, they're fatiguing over a long haul.
Yeah, great if you're on autocrossing or on one of the rally stages, but not great if you are sitting in traffic. But overall, I like the car. Decent storage in the trunk. It is a pricey investment, though, for sure.
It is. But it's a performance car you can drive every day.
Absolutely.
They're very reliable.
And it's stealthy, don't you think? I mean, you don't know that's a performance car. If you got that in silver, people would just think it's a little compact car, wouldn't they?
Yeah, it's a little Subaru.
It's a little Subaru, and he's got some nice wheels on it. But fun car for sure. And you just have to be able to open up your pocketbook for this a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you think people will say it's enough of a WRX, that it is different enough?
I think so. I think the average WRX buyer just wants a reliable piece of transportation that happens to give a lot of performance when you want it.
All right. Well, there you have it. At the Wheel review of the 2022 Subaru WRX. We'll have plenty more at the wheels coming up. As I said, I'm going to be driving the Bolt EUV. What do you got coming up next week?
The big Mazda CX-50.
A big vehicle for them. They're saying it's one of their best sellers. So hard to come by, but Les Jackson wrangled one out of the fleet. And we'll hear about that next week. Hey, we appreciate you listening to Cruise Control. Don't forget to check us out on our YouTube page and around social media and at cruisecontrolradio.com. It is time for me to say I'm Fred Staab.
I'm Les Jackson.
All right. Well, we will see you down the road. Take care.
Bye.